Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. It is absolutely beautiful and sunny outside, and I have to tell you that this video is going to happen and then I'm going to be writing my blog post in the sunshine. It's a little too bright to be writing out there today. My name is Christine Gillis from Fit Balance Coaching, and we've been talking this week about balance and finding that balance in your life. And today I want to talk to all of you overachievers. This is going to be counterintuitive for a lot of you, because a lot of the times when we talk to people who always want to be on, always want to be hitting all the points in their to-do list, always being the best at something, always wanting to make sure they finish something first, something quickly, something to the best of their ability, better than everybody else. Not because they're necessarily in competition with somebody, but because it's something innate in them that drives that competitive spirit. And I'm going to tell you that there are probably people who are watching this who have known me for a long time, who know me as that competitive person. And I'm really proud to say that I have been working really hard on that piece of me, because I've started to realize that overachieving quality that I have had almost my entire life, and I'm not talking overachieving in school, because I was not an overachiever in school, but I just mean being the punchline of a joke, making the punchline of a joke before you are the punchline of the joke, making sure that you are not the laughing stock, so you create the laughing stock of other people, talking about people, right? That is a sign of being somebody who is uber confident, sometimes to their detriment. And so what does balance look like when you are somebody who has the stress of always wanting to be right, finished, on, have all the right things for you? That can lead you to being out of balance in your life. And if we're talking about health and fitness goals, or we're talking about finance goals, or we're talking about being organized, the moment something doesn't go your way, you start to feel that imbalance, and it can lead to stress. Now, stress in and of itself is nothing. It's not something. It's not a thing. There's symptoms of stress, and I don't even know what the statistic is, but there are hundreds of thousands, millions of people on stress medication to help with the symptoms of stress, but stress is not something. It is a response to situations. And so when we're talking about somebody who is an overachiever, I kind of use the term one-upper sometimes, because I've got some one-upper people in my life, and I think for a really long time I might have been a one-upper. And I'm really working on some of those things. And I really find that when I'm out of balance, you start to think about a lot of negative things. And I'm sure you've heard the topic before. You bring about what you think about. The reality that you create for yourself are those negative thoughts. So I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not active enough. I'm not a good enough mother. I can't do something. Something is too hard. This always happens to me. Nothing ever goes my way. I'm going to have a bad day. See, I told you I'm having a bad day. All of those little tiny pockets of time throughout your day, you are starting to bring about that stress, and you're starting to have very real symptoms of stress. And there's lots of medication on the market for your symptoms of stress. It's not stress, it is the symptoms that your stress is creating in your life. And so when you are that overachiever, it is very difficult for you to kind of give up, give in, maybe admit that you don't need to have as much control over certain things in your life. Yesterday, I posted a picture of my messy linen closet. And a friend of mine messaged me, and she's like, here's my linen closet. And she she gave me a picture of her linen closet in Messenger. And it was way messier. I thought my linen closet was crazy messy. There are people who are like, they would die if their linen closet was as messy as mine. And yet there are other people out there with it just depends on what kind of control you're willing to release. And I think for me, I really started to find that balance in my life when I started to think about what's important in my husband's life and my children's life and in my career, and what I'm willing to give and what I'm taking away from it. As you know, teachers in our province, we were on strike, and we were work to rule, and I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about what I'm willing to give to my career and what I'm not willing to take away from my family. That becomes balance. And so if you are that person who feels stressed when one more thing is added to my plate. Or maybe you're that type of person who likes saying, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. I've got so much to do. I've got this and this and this and this and this to do. And then I have this and we can't go here until we get this done. There are some people who thrive off of that. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as that balance in your life is not unhealthy. And when those signs of stress start to show themselves, like dehydration, lack of sleep. I talk to so many people, you guys, who have problems sleeping, and it's stress related. You can drink all kinds of crazy drinks. You can exercise, you can meditate, you guys, you can do all those things that we talk about. But here's the thing, until you start to change that mindset into being okay with letting some things go, that stress is leaking into your life in places that you don't even really realize it. Sitting in traffic and getting all tensed up and worked up about it. The way you react to your kids and the way that you see your kids reacting is a really good sign that will tell you kind of the way that you're reacting to stress. So those signs are telltale symptoms of the fact that maybe things are just not balanced. Does that mean that you're going to start to meditate and all of a sudden you're going to be this really nice, kind person with all of things in check and balance? Absolutely not. It is a daily activity of working on that mindset so that you bring about the thoughts and those behaviors and those engagements and those reactions that are a little more on the side of where you want them to be versus the quick and abrupt and attacking and this is no fair and this is my life and I don't have this and I'm lacking instead of seeing all the abundance, right? When you see all the things that are great about your life and you start to really appreciate all the good things that you're grateful for in your life, then you stop focusing on all the things that are missing. It's like you're focusing on things that you don't have and things that you wish that you could do. I wish I had your energy, or I wish I had your organization, or I wish I had your linen closet, or I wish I had whatever you're wishing for, rather than focusing on all the lack, all the things that you don't have in your life. If we shift our thinking over to all the things that are abundant in our life, that we are grateful for, then we start to make room for failure. We start to make room for situations that come up that we didn't anticipate, that maybe would give us stress one day, but we're starting to kind of appreciate all the things that have led to that traffic jam or something that's come up at work that can be a stressor. Okay, so if you're that overachieving type, rather than wanting to be first, wanting to one up, wanting to be better, wanting to all of those things, that's coming from a place of lack. It's coming from a place of, I don't have enough self-love. The place where it comes from within. That's where we need to start. So if you're that overachiever, finding balance might be difficult for you, but start to think about all the good. And yeah, the meditation and the food and the exercise, all those things are great. They work, but it's the mindset that we have to start to shift. Okay, I'm going to get out and enjoy the sunshine. Have a great night.